is one of our speakers for today. His name is none other than Rudolph Dawkins. Rudolph Dawkins was born on the 1st of December, the only child of Sister Karen and Brother Rudolph Dawkins. Our speaker loves the Lord and enjoys playing with his friends. He reads a lot and does not like to be disturbed when doing his homework. He loves to play electronic games and will one day become a certified electrical engineer. Yes, he knows what he wants to be. He is an 8th grade honor roll student at Bahamas Academy. Before our speaker comes to share what God has laid on his heart for us, we will be blessed with a special item of music for our combined Cham choir.
Good day, church.
Good day.
Fidelity. What comes to mind when you hear this word? What comes to my mind is being faithful to my friends at school and not being hypocritical to them. Hence the topic, the steel fidelity of the young Hebrews. Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us safely again, as I said before. Lord, help me to have courage to be your Lord. Help me not to, help me not to mess up. Lord, please help me to calm down. Guide me and help me to read your word. Amen. So, someone was supposed to discuss this story with you guys, but I'm just going to give you a summary of it.
Alright.
Now, there was a big fire one day, and there were bees. There were beekeepers, and it took 3 days to take it down. Many bees were inside there, but one man prayed to God, and later the bees were found safe. Nothing happened to them. All the bees from the other companies were destroyed. They were blacked, but this specific man's beehive was fine. All the bees were alive, and not a single one got hurt. His name was Brother Carey. Sorry, give me a second. Right there, they knelt, wept, and thanked God for being a real God who even today let us see his great love and care for his faithful children. I imagine a group of angels surrounding those bee houses, looking after them, so nothing would happen to them. Do you realize how the most fragile thing, like a bee, God makes it strong enough to face any adversity? That's the wonderful thing about having God on your side. The values are made of steel. And you become an excellent human being with a character of firm principles like that of Brother Carey. Brother Carey's faithfulness also reminds me of what happened to 3 Hebrews. This remarkable experience is found in the book of Daniel, chapter 3. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were young Hebrews who learned to respect and love God from their childhood. Every day before any activity, they prayed and studied the secret scriptures. They lived a life very dependent on God. They never forgot Him. 3 times the horn of Jerusalem sounds to invite the people to pray in the morning, noon, and night. Wherever these children were, they turned their faces towards the temple and bowed their faces in respect to their God. Their faith in God was strong as steel because from a very young age, they had heard from their grandparents the stories of many miracles God had done in bringing His people out of Egypt. The many ways He had freed them from the enemy armies and the many wonderful things that had happened with those people, so special to God. Sadly, Jerusalem was invaded by the Babylonian army, and the strongest young men among them, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, were taken prisoners. Now, they were in a different place in Babylon. It was a country with a very strong, powerful king with different customs. Can you imagine minding your own business in your house, and then a group of army soldiers come barging in, disrupting the peace, and just lock you up in chains and take you to a faraway land? However, because of their good performance and strength, they were chosen to serve King Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar was very impressed with a statue he had dreamt of and ordered the statue to be made of gold with the intention of showing that his empire, represented by gold, will last forever. The height of the statue was 30 meters. It was gigantic. When it was ready, it was transported to a large plain, spacious enough to bring the entire population of Babylon. He then sent an invitation to all the important people in his empire to attend the dedication of the statue he erected. The people from all over the world began to arrive. At the appointed time, the herald made silence prevail, and then proclaimed aloud, "It is commanded to you, peoples, nations, people of all languages, know that as soon you hear the music from the trumpets, lyres, harps, flutes, and all kinds of instruments, you must kneel and worship the golden statue. Whosoever does not kneel will be thrown to the fiery furnace." Immediately, as soon as the music began to sound, the great crowd knelt and worshipped the golden statue, as the king had commanded. At the scene, the king must have been very proud, but his joy was short-lived, for some astrologers soon approached and hastened to accuse the young Jews. They said to Nebuchadnezzar, "O king, live forever. You have issued a decree by which all men hearing the sound of the music must kneel down and worship the golden statue. Whosoever did not do such must be cast into the burning fire furnace. But there are some Jews who have not obeyed." Naturally, the king was furious and wanted to know who it was. They were Jews called Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, to whom you gave important positions in Babylon. "Bring them here at once," said the king. The three young men were taken to the presence of the king, who he asked very angrily, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, was it on purpose that you did not serve my gods and worship my golden statue I have made? I am going to give you another chance. The orchestra will sound, and you will kneel and adore my image. If you do everything, we'll be fine. If you disobey again, you will be thrown to the burning furnace. Then we will see what God delivers you from my hands." Oh, how awful to be burnt alive. And they knew the king would keep his promise. Burning people alive was a tradition in Babylon. Yet despite this, they responded respectfully. We don't have to defend ourselves to his majesty. If we are thrown to the burning furnace, the God we serve can deliver us in the furnace of the fire from his majesty's hand. But even if he does not, know that we will not honor your gods or worship your statues. At the response of the three young men, Nebuchadnezzar became furious and changed his attitude towards them. He then ordered the oven to be heated up 7 times more than normal. That some of the strongest in the soldiers in his army bind the 3 young men and threw them into the burning furnace. That's how they threw them into the oven as they were dressed. Remember that, okay? So immediate was the king's command, and so hot was the furnace that the flames reached and killed the soldiers who brought the young men in, who bound their hands and their feet and threw them in the burning furnace. At the moment, the king stood up and, surprised, asked his advisors, "Were there not 3 men we tied up and thrown to the fire?" They said to him, "So it is, your majesty." "Look at this! Impossible! Not only are they alive, but instead of 3, there are now 4 men in the oven." The people who were near the king also went there to observe what is happening. The king continued speaking. "How is it I now see 4 of them walking quietly through the fire, and the 4th looks like the Son of God?" Then Nebuchadnezzar came to the door of the furnace, and he called, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of God, the Most High, get out there. Come outside, come outside." The young people came out of the fiery furnace. All could see that none of them had even a singed, nor were their clothes. The fire had consumed only the ropes that bound them. The king himself was so surprised that he forgot the golden idol and said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who sent his angel and delivered his servants who trust in him." They would rather die than to worship another god. Therefore, I now make another decree, which whosoever says something else offensive against the God of these young people will be punished. and their house will be destroyed. Then the king helped these young men prosper in Babylon. It is incredible, this experience that the young Hebrews had of how the fire did nothing to them. However, we know we cannot do the impossible with our own strength. It takes faith and great fidelity in God. These young people are a great sign that a human being can achieve the impossible only if he depends on God, thus achieve a character of firm principles like steel. God has not promised a life without problems, without fears, without challenges. No! But He has promised to be by your side in the most difficult moments of your life. Just as He was with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, He will be with you as long as you let Him.